All right, so let's get into it. So the cover page, it looks like we are. Oh, there's Pokemon on the color page or the cover page of Shonen Jump with One Piece and a bunch of the other current manga. I'll be honest, I don't remember what the names of most of the other manga in Shonen Jump are. I don't really keep up with the magazine as a whole. Now, what's interesting, though, I'm going to say about the Pokemon that I'm seeing is a bunch of them, right? There's a bunch of Megas, so that makes sense. I'm assuming it has to do with Legends ZA, solely because I believe Chikorita, Totodile, and Tepig were going to be the starters for it, I think. And they're on the front, and then there's Clefairy, and then there's a bunch of Megas. There's Pikachu, which just makes sense, Pokemon mascot, Wobbuffet, Eevee, bunch of the Megas. Rapidash, Meowth, Rotom, and what I find interesting, Greninja, all the Megas would make sense because they're bringing Megas back for Legends ZA, right? And if those are the three starters, which I think they were, I'm not sure, but I thought they were, right? Then that's, here, let me actually... Because if that's the case, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile, so I was right. Yeah, so what I find interesting then with this, if those are the three starters and they have them there, that makes sense. All the Megas being there makes sense. We're going back to having Megas and Lumios, right? Now, what I find odd, Greninja. Other than what Greninja, right, Froakie is from Kalos, which is where Lumios is from, right? That can make some sense. He's not a Mega, though, so he doesn't have to be on the front. You know what I mean? It could just be that he's a fan favorite Pokemon. I just think it's a little weird. It goes along with the other ones that are weird. Meowth. I have no idea why Meowth would be there. He is, in theory, maybe a fan favorite because of the anime with Meowth, right, and Team Rocket. But generally speaking, I don't think he is, and he's on the cover. Rapidash is on the cover, and I know for a fact Rapidash is not a fan favorite Pokemon. And I believe it is one of the few Pokemon from Kanto, right, that we don't have a Mega for, right? We don't have Mega Rapidash, do we? Or do we already have Mega Rapidash and I'm crazy? No, it's not. Yeah, that's what I thought. So we don't have Mega Rapidash. I'm not crazy. So maybe we'll just say we know we're getting more. And this isn't supposed to be a Pokemon talk, but I'm really sorry. I'm a bit of a nerd for it. This is we know we're getting more Megas because we've already been told we got Dragonite as a new one. And so the current theory from a lot of people in the Pokemon community is that we're going to get more Megas, like even from Gen 1 maybe, because there's not many Gen 1 Mons that haven't gotten some continuance in a new evolution or a baby form or a regional variant or a Mega in like since, Gen 1, like since they came out, they haven't had anything. It's like less than 20. Mons who haven't had anything done to their line. And one of them was Dragonite, and so Dragonite's getting one with a Mega. Rapidash, I believe, Rapidash actually isn't one, right? Because there's Galarian. But still, I think that's kind of odd. Rotom, I don't know why Rotom would be there. Rotom's not even from, that generation, right? But he's there on the cover. Again, a Pokemon I know a lot of people like, but I don't think he's a fan favorite. Clefairy, kind of the same boat. Wobbuffet's really weird. Other than maybe people like him, again, I don't know, Team Rocket, the anime, right? And then Eevee, I know people like, and Pikachu. Those make sense. I just think it's a little weird. And the only person I know other than the Pokemon on the page, I'm not going to lie to you, is Luffy. I don't really keep up with the other people in Shonen Jump, like I'd said. I can recognize one character, but I don't know what his name is or what he's from. Otis note, caught up with Takehiko Inoue Sensei for the first time in a while. We had Yakiniku and shared a ton of stories. It was a blast. I'm actually not sure who that is right off the dome, but the name sounds familiar. And then we get a color page. It's a really cool one. It's got Rayleigh in one corner, and then Scopper down in this other one, right? So, Rayleigh's up in the top, and Scopper's down at the bottom, and then, corresponding to them, Zoro is right here below Rayleigh, and then Sanji is up here above Scopper. And then for some reason Nami and Nami and Luffy are real big, and then all the other Straw Hats are really small, riding on giant Luffy. It's really cool. Jinbei and Usopp are having a great time. Frankie's having a great time. Yo, let's go this way. Chopper's just chilling. Robin Brooks having fun. But it's pretty cool, I gotta say, because it literally looks like Scopper and Rayleigh are all relaxed and retirement, and then Sanji and Zoro, being the two right hands of the Pirate King, look like they're mad flexing right now, they're really pissed off while they're looking over Luffy. But let's get into it. It's 1156. The title is Idols for the chapter. So it starts with before the Great Pirate Era. And then we get narration. We get text box kind of telling us where we are. And it says, back in those days, certain idols roamed the seas. Somebody then says, that was some pirate attack. Why aren't any of you fighting back? You guys are useless. We cut to some citizens where it appears as though, oh yeah, somebody's using Boa's love fruit. The Marameto Nomi, right? It says, they've taken everything. You men are hopeless. They were strong, ... You didn't lay a finger, or you didn't lift a finger. Now what are we supposed to do? And then it cuts to, again, the narration box. Not even the Marines could, I'm sorry, I guess I'm dyslexic right now. Even the Marines could not oppose this group. And they're, like, turned to stone, like hard eyes and everything. Or maybe they're not turned to stone. They have the hard eyes. They could be stone with how they're drawn. Kind of hard to tell. But then, yeah, we do actually cut down and we do see the Kuja ship. And it's the narration then says, they were known as the Kuja Pirates, a crew that hailed from the elusive Isle of Women. So this is going to be cool. This is going to be, what's her name? The old lady. I can't think of her name, but it's going to be the old lady. Grandma Nyon, or whatever they were calling her. Narration continues, a fierce and stunning pirate band, off limits to men. Then we get, it looks like the crew, we're cutting to the current Kuja pirate crew at that time, saying, I grow weary of my own beauty. Day and night, it always goes this way. Oh, this is our Boa Hancock, or Granny Nyon, essentially, saying this. Will I ever be free to shed it? This picture of perfection. And, yeah, she looks pretty good when she's young, I guess. Gloriosa, that's her name. It says, yeah, Captain Gloriosa is a goddess, says her crew. I think let me weigh in on this, and let me read her text box. Empress of Amazon Lily, Captain of the Kuja Pirates, Gloriosa, future Elder Nyon. She is not Boa Hancock. Boa Hancock's a lot badder than she is. Just me, though. The crew then continues, she's unbearably cute. I'm in love. Her radiance is making my mind go blank. My heart can't afford to beat this hard. Wow, they're really simping for her. Good for them. And then there's another one running up to her with fan mail. Empress Gloriosa, here are your new fan letters. Tritoma, what about all those back there? And she points to a massive pile of fan letters. And it says, oh, those are for Lady Shocky. Oh, wow. There are 100 times more. Tritomo, future Empress of Amazon Lily. Oh, is Tritoma. Isn't that Boa is like the one who was before Boa, right? That we didn't actually get to know anything about. That's kind of cool. And so Shocky was way more popular with everybody than Gloriosa was, which doesn't really shock me. How could she? Upstaging your own captain is a total betrayal. Kya, even her angry face is like an icy gem. And then it cuts to back to narration. Indeed, the only one said to outshine the radiant Gloriosa, the star of her era, was none other than her first mate, Shakuyaku, which just, I gotta say, I gotta hand it for Rayleigh then. He pulled down the baddest in his generation. Cut back to the crew. Captain, enemy ahead. And she says, oh, it's the Roger Pirates. And then it's somebody from the ship saying, hello there, ahem, it's me, Roger speaking. Hand her over. Kuja Pirates. Wow, this is young Roger, but that's still the Oro Jackson that they're on. This might be some of the youngest that we've seen Roger, dude. He kind of looks like Shanks. Kind of, mildly like Shanks. Kind of like Ace, too, which they should look alike, but I think it's the nose for me that's really throwing me off on how it looks like Ace. But it's actually back when he was wearing the hat, which I don't know if we've ever actually seen Roger back in the day wearing the hat, so this is kind of cool. He then says, today's the day we finally win her from you. We're taking your first mate, Shakuyaku. Oh, they were out to take Shaki from the beginning, huh? Probably for Rayleigh. You never learn, Roger. Isn't being loved by a woman like me enough? Get her. Rah. And then it says, who did you come to take again? Bang, as the door gets kicked open. Roger looks over shocked. Gya, Lady Shakuyaku. The narration says they say her every move was captivating. Shakuyaku's here. And you literally see at least a bunch of the Roger Pirates, including Scopper, but not Rayleigh, with crazy hard eyes for her. And then she comes out and says, "Oh, Gyabon," boom, does the whatever kind of kick, just like Boa does. Just hearing you say my name is so and a heart. Our boy Scopper, big simp energy like Sanji. Long time no see, Roger. How dare you do that to Gyabon? Damn it, I like Shakuyaku too much. Hee hee, you too, Roger. Wow, and she knocked out Roger. That's pretty funny. And then it goes narration. Her beauty humbled even the mightiest warriors. It cuts to her in Roger's face. You should know I'll never submit to another's captivity. The crew goes, yeah, take their treasure. You can take my soul while you're at it, says some of the crew. Wow. Yeah, she... And this net cuts to first mate of the Kuja pirates, Shakuyaku. And I will say she is as bad as Roger. Roger, you know I'm the one who likes you, right? Out of the way, Gloriosa. You're blocking Shaki. Wow, that's... Dude, Roger's such a G, dude. Like, Gloriosa's all over him. But he's like, get out of the way, Gloriosa. You're blocking the hot one. Rayleigh, it must be so hard for you. He says, yeah, I'm surrounded by idiots. And she gives him a wink. And he's just like, huh? And because he's the only one not simping for her, she wants him. See? Big man energy. I like that. Anyways, let's continue with it. Somebody in the crew shouts, Empress Gloriosa, it's the Navy. Get moving with the loot. Don't leave a single crumb behind. On it. Hey, at least let us keep some of our food. We've spotted the Roger and Kuja crews. Quick, snap a picture. It'll be worth a fortune. Knock it off. And then it cuts to Roger saying, hurry it up. We've got to set sail. Roger, isn't that Garp's ship? What did you say? He says. All right, men. New plan. He raises his sword up. Crush them, says Pirate Gold D. Roger, future King of the Pirates and Father of Ace. To Vice Admiral Monkey D. Garp, future Hero of the Marines and Grandfather of Luffy. And it looks as though Garp is also yelling, crush them. Meteor Fist, they're here. Aramitama, I wonder whose move that is. It just had to be Garp's ship, didn't it? Garp! Roger! Boom! They clash. Both armament hockey punching each other. Actually, it's a punch from Garp, and it looks like a cut from Roger. Or from Roger to Garp, and Garp punches Roger. But I don't see a cut, like any blood clearly on them. It's like they just clashed and it made an explosion. Looks like lightning shooting off, so I'd say Conqueror's hockey. This would make sense. They're probably in their 20s at this point. And then the narration cuts to Roger, Garp, and Rocks. Three who would be spoken of as legends in the Great Pirate era, but at this time, their blood burned with the passion of youth. And then it cuts to, sister, hang in there, and that's Shaki picking up Gloriosa. My heart aches. Those two are so dreamy. Many saw them as idols, and this is the narration, cuts to, many saw them as idols, and their wanted posters fetched high prices. Stalkers taking creep shots became a daily nuisance for the crew. Soon after this encounter, Shakuyaku was crowned empress, and her popularity continued to grow an unmanageable level. Ida's Tavern in Elbaf, and then it cuts to somebody saying, I saw Loki drowning after the ship capsized. He's always acting up so badly when you're not around. I honestly wondered whether I should help him or not. Cuts to Harold saying sorry and thank you for saving him. Loki, pull yourself together. What the hell? ? You shouldn't have even hesitated to help. How would you feel if Loki had died? And this is, what's her name again? Ida? Ida saying this to him. Come on, Ida, says Harold. Loki's the one who selfishly took the ship and sailed off. So what? If he can just stand by and let a kid die, I'd drag him under and drown him myself 100 times over. And then Loki just says, I didn't ask anyone to save me. And the captain goes, damn it, that's the piss poor attitude I was talking about. Clearly depressed. Ida says, you lost your mom and your dad. You lost your mom and your dad's always quite busy, ... I bet you must get pretty lonely, right, Loki? Shut up, you old hag, he says. And she goes, haha, wouldn't it be better to stay with us? And her and Harudine and Loki both yell, no way. Loki says, I'm on to you, Ida. You're just acting all motherly, so we'll let you move into the castle, aren't you? You're just a gold digger. Wow, what a guy. Loki's calling him out, guys. Haraldine then says, screw you, Loki, and goes after him with a sword. Harald says, what you said is unacceptable. Apologize right this instant. Don't you care how Ida feels, says Harald. And she just has dots, and then she just says, you kids are just too cute, and gives lots of kisses to them. You're being too sweet on him. A kid's crying. She says, I hate when he says such mean things to you, stupid Loki. Motto, are you crying for me? The world is full of kind and beautiful people, says Ida. And then it cuts to Loki saying, I'm sick of this goddamn country. Every single one of you is weak and dirty. I'm going to be free like Rox. Narration then says, from then on, each time Rox visited to try and recruit Harald, Loki would attempt to join Rox's crew. But he would ultimately never get his way. Somebody then saying, aren't you happy I'm going to follow him out to sea? Because I hate you all right back. I'm assuming that's Loki wanting to leave. Narration then cuts to several months after the Rox crew takeover of Pirate Island. So the Rox crew took over Pirate Island. I wonder from who. Where the hell did you come from? I'm here to join the Rox pirates. Yeah, maybe in your dreams, but it ain't gonna happen. You won't even lay eyes on them. The Rox pirates, the ocean's all-stars of evil. See that fish-shaped boulder over there? That's where they're said to be holed up, as these are just some random pirates on the island pointing. I'm guessing to somebody as to where they are. First I thought it was Loki who was pulling up on them, but it can't be, considering when we see him he's a normal-sized person. Then it's just somebody saying to him, if you're dead set on mating them, head that way. But the deeper in their island you go, the madder the bastards get. Good luck with that death wish. Kya. And he says, take that. And then kicks the guy. He goes, Kyaha, that'll teach you. The guy who he kicks turns and looks at him. He then grabs the guy and crushes his head with his fist. This is pretty badass. Kyo the Wicked. Future Silver Axe. Kyo the Hitman. Oh, so Silver Axe was a hitman. Wow, he's kind of cool looking. Yeah, good for him. What's Shiki's rival doing here? This guy was Shiki's rival? So Shiki was rivals with Silver Axe. Interesting. The strong gathered around Rox, and their presence attracted even stronger recruits. Stay back, he'll kill you. What a view. Look at the scenery. Blasting a couple holes in the place was the right call after all. Ain't that right? As I was saying, and this is Rock saying this, I'm sorry, as he blows the holes in Pirate Island to make the eyes. And then it says, as I was saying, there's 2 devil fruits I'm after. One of them's most likely on Elbaf. It'll only show its true power if Harald eats it. Okay, and then cuts to Captain John saying, we'll need those Galera folks too, yeah? I've heard the legends, but... Galera. Pirate, Captain John. And then it's Linlin. I'm using all my contacts to try and track them down, but there's nothing about a frozen army of giants. Whitebeard then says, even if you find them, what good are a bunch of corpses now? Streusen as a pirate says, exactly, there's no way to bring them back. Shut it. We're talking about dreams. Don't be a downer. We then cut to, it says, Catfish Fishman, Pirate Barbell. Even if they did come back to life, they'd have no reason to listen to you. That's why we need Harald. He's the current king of Elbaf. And I'm guessing that's Rox that says that. And then it's Kaido saying, can't we just use our strength to force them to obey? We can do the same thing to that Harald guy too. And then Rox goes over and kicks Kaido in the face. Never say that again, you brat. Calm down, Rox, they say to him. Why, Kaido, used to stop it. We just got this island. Do you two want to turn it into ruin already? A group like this is bound to implode sooner or later, but this isn't the time. Captain John then says, right, let's hold off on that till we cash in a little more. Get it, you horn-headed rookie? Got it, or get it, you horn-headed rookie? Harald's my good pal, says Rox. I'll crush you if you say that crap again, Kaido. And then we cut to a big shot of the Rox pirates. Listen up, you lot. Elbaf is the key to bringing down the Holy Land. If any of you don't buy that, then get lost. It's your choice if you want to stand with me on the day of destiny. But if you've got the guts, I'll take you to the world's. Follow me. I'll take you to the world summit. And it says the Rocks Pirates, and we see them all, and that's how we end the chapter with the ones that we got last chapter and this one. The Rocks Pirates seem to be pretty cool, I'm not going to lie to you. Except I am now looking for the guy. I guess he's not with them yet. Yeah, because he's not back there. Silver Axe isn't with them yet, so this isn't even all of them. But yeah, this is kind of crazy. My goodness. Wow. Yeah, dude, these are some big guys. This crew is crazy. Well, that's the end of the chapter. So what I'm going to say, we don't seem to be on break, so that's going to be really cool. Oh, it does say the crew has formed. So it's officially, this is the Rocks Pirate crew now. I mean, we got a bunch of cool stuff. Finding out that Silver Axe was Shiki's rival. That's cool. And that he was a hitman. That's just neat information. How some people came to him and he went out and found others. We kind of could have figured that, but that's really cool. Ido's wrapping up to be the great woman we figure she is. My current thought is inevitably we're going to at one point see her maybe even like express her feelings as to how she's sad and feels bad for Loki and how it makes her sad. Maybe even how he treats her, but she understands. Kind of like Corazon. That it's not his fault he's hurting so much. His problems are kind of based on his circumstance. So he's depressed and he's really sad. And so she's hurting because he's hurting. That's what I think, honestly. Overall, these are some really cool people, though, that we didn't know. At least getting to see some of their designs. And this guy named Barbell, which is neat. I mean, the Roger Pirates had a fishman on there, too. It seems like all the cool pirate crews have a fishman on them. I don't know if Shanks' crew is a fishman. Might have to look into the Redhead Pirates, or the Red Hair Pirates. But anyways, I don't really have much else to say. Overall, it was definitely a good chapter. This might be a good one for me to go over and try to find some stuff to actually put together for a small video in the middle of the week or something. But definitely a good chapter. Oda crushes it every time he goes on break, and really he's been crushing it with this backstory. I mean, this stuff is awesome. It's really cool getting to see rocks and everything start to take shape. Really start taking shape. But anyways, I'm going to leave it with that and hop off here. I've got some other stuff to work on. I hope everybody has had a good couple weeks, and I hope everybody has a good week or so to come, and I will see if I can't find time to put out something else at some point too. But in the meantime, I hope everybody, like I said, have a good one. Go out, tell somebody you love them, give somebody a hug, pet your cat, pet your dog, hang out with your goldfish, your bird, whatever you want to do. Hang out with your friends. Like I said, tell somebody you love them. Have a great night. Bye-bye.